the big news about you. Kim Kardashian West wants to become a lawyer.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Well, a lot of it is thanks to you, because you introduced me to the attorneys, Jessica and Aaron,
Yes.
that I have been working with weekly, seeing 18 hours a week, studying with, pretty much crying with, It's a lot of hard work.
Why are you doing this? People are just so surprised to hear it. Talk about the reason.
Yeah, well, when I did go to the White House and when I learned so much about the system and what is going on deep into the system, I was honestly so surprised. I really had no idea how broken the system is, and I just figured if I know more about the system, I can do more for the system, and that's just the type of person that I am. It really interests me. It's completely taken over my life.
Yeah. We have gotten a chance to work together this past year plus now on criminal justice reform. We were in the Trump White House together, in the Oval Office together, talking to him. You still talk to Trump?
I do have a relationship with the White House, and we're still working on a lot of, hopefully, more clemencies, and there's a lot more that we're working on, and I'm definitely not one that's afraid. I know I got so many times people would say to me, don't go to the White House, your career will be over, don't go there. And I just kind of weighed the decision where it was like a life, to save a life, or to get maybe bad tweets about me or a bad news story for a few days. I guarantee you the people sitting behind bars do not care who the president is. They just want that relief. And so if I could have done that, I don't care. I saw something on social media that's, changed my heart, changed my life with Miss Alice Johnson. Everyone has a voice, and I learned so much about just what, even I had no idea what clemency was. I had no idea what the difference between state and federal prison. I mean, I knew nothing.
Wow.
I've literally learned so much about the system and what's going on
crazy.
In the past year.
This guy comes home from prison. He's been praised by the President of the United States. He can't get a house. He can't rent an apartment. Talk about the challenges of people coming home from prison, and why did you step up to try to help Matthew Charles?
Yeah, so I've learned so much about this, especially from Scott Budnick, who runs a foundation out here that specializes, that's like his passion of getting people home and providing jobs and housing. And so I remember I brought Matthew Charles to the president, and we talked about him. Matthew was the first person to get out on the First Step Act, and to hear that he had all of this support and he could not get a place to stay.
Because he's a convicted, quote unquote, felon. So therefore, nobody wants to rent to you.
And even I stepped up and I said, okay, let's figure out how to get you a place. And he wasn't sure job-wise where he was going to be, so he just wanted to rent. So that was such a hard process. And so I wasn't even going to tweet about it, but because he couldn't get housing, I said, you know what, I'm going to tweet about this, and I guarantee you people that don't know, that live in his city, are going to be made aware of the situation. And the city rallied so heavy behind him, and that is the power of social media. That is the beauty of it, and that's the good parts of it. And it made me so proud that so many people stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that you're willing to do that, and you get criticized for trying.
Yeah.
And when you went to the Trump White House a couple of times, even though you came out with people who had been freed, you still got criticized. What about the legitimate part of the criticism, though, that says, hey, Trump is snatching babies from their mom at the border? How do you come to peace with working with an administration that has some really negative human rights check marks on the balance sheet?
Yeah, well, people do write me, I think, every time there is an issue going on in the White House, which is pretty often. I think that people, I see on Twitter people writing me all the time, Kim, do something, do this, do that. And I have been very honest with the administration. I've been very honest with everyone, from Jared and Ivanka to everyone in the White House, about how I feel about immigration in particular. And we've had the conversations. I mean, the reality is I can't do everything. I'm not in that position. And if I can change people's lives in a different area, I have to focus on that. And I have definitely voiced my opinion on other things and requested things in other areas.
Honestly, people forget your father was a lawyer, not just a lawyer, one of the best lawyers in the country. Talk about the impact of growing up with your dad as an attorney on your thoughts about a legal career.
Yeah, I've always been, it's really interesting also that I chose to start this apprenticeship with social justice attorneys. I mean, I could have gone in the entertainment field. You could do it in any field that you really want to. And so I chose this because I saw my dad's passion to do the right thing and to just, he would always want to help people. And I just was so intrigued and so into it. And it's, you know, I wish my dad was here to see it. He would be totally rooting me on.
Yeah, that's
right. And it's just, it's in me. It's what I love to do. And I think no matter what it is in life, if you just, you know, I also love to do makeup. I also love to do fragrance. It's like, I don't want to be put in a box if you only have to do this because this is what people think of you. I saw a comment where someone said, you need to stay in your lane. You can have ambitions, but don't be too ambitious. And to me, that was that kind of like, shut up and dribble comment to where it really, I read it to my husband in bed and I was just like, this will even push me harder.
Yeah.
So.
What does the family think about this? I mean, is Kanye mad? I mean, is this like taking you away from...
He might be mad because on my weekends, I just need to study. During the week at nights, you know, there's a lot of time where I'm just like, babe, you have to take the kids. And he's really stepped it up. And I'm so grateful for him for doing that because we made this decision together as a family where I said, you know what, I have my full-time filming job, I have my beauty business, I work full-time, and I'm gonna take on another 18 hours a week that's required. And I think honestly, when I saw the response from people, some people just didn't really understand how it works.
Right.
And I think people assume that I'm just prepping for the bar and not actually studying or going to school.
Because so people understand, you're not going to a regular law school. You're actually apprenticing, basically going back to the old school way of doing it, apprenticing yourself, studying, working with the real lawyer on a regular basis to be ready to take the bar exam.
Yeah, so you have all the same textbooks that you would in law school, all of the same assignments, except for you have more tests. You have a test a month. And you know, you don't have a teacher there explaining to you it, so I have to watch lectures online. You really have to kind of figure it out yourself with them guiding you and really step up and do the work.
What's your response to people who say, but you're just taking a shortcut? You should just go to law school like everybody else. Why not do it that way?
Well, it's really not a shortcut. Anyone that thinks this is a form of privilege or because I have money, they assume that this is the easy way out, but this is actually a system that was provided for the complete opposite, to be accessible to people that actually don't have the means.
You've had very interesting reactions. You have some people who say, go get them. It's great, you know, to see a young woman stepping forward and doing this. You have other people go, you know, I don't really see how you could be a lawyer.
Well, I didn't really see, I either saw like super positive or even 10 times worse than you know, it was like either or. And I think, you know what, it's like I've always been super supportive of women and people around me that have wanted to succeed, and I don't really have the energy for the you know, like I think you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. It is so hard, it's not an easy thing to do. Just start supporting people. If someone wants to do something positive, just what does it bother you?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like just
How about that?
be supportive.
Support good people. Support good people. I'm for that.